Alright, what's going on, y'all? Hope everybody's doing well. So I wanted to make this short video on some updates that I think would be great with the upcoming patch for New Game Plus. Just some quality of life changes, particularly ones dealing with the arena. So first thing I wanted to go over is when you're practicing in the arena, I think it would be great if you're able to decide how many enemies you want to fight against. The options right now are already pretty awesome. I love that you're able to choose between different types of enemies for your sparring partner. That being said, I think that it would be a great change if you're able to decide how many enemies, and also if you want to pick just one or two enemies and then give them unlimited health so that you can constantly just fight rather than having to kill them and have them respawn. If you're just trying to practice a combo and you want to just keep going, practice and practice and practice, it'd be really cool if you could just pick one enemy and have them have unlimited health, same as Kratos has. So that's the first thing that I wanted to go over. So one of the changes I'd love to see implemented is being able to play as Atreus in the arena. I think a lot of people didn't put nearly as much time into him as they could have, and his combat is actually pretty sick. He's got a lot of mobility and it allows for some cool combos. I think later down the line, maybe adding a dagger skill tree for him would make a lot of sense and just allow for some cool combat stuff to happen. And potentially having the arena here in Jotunheim rather than in Niflheim, that would also make some sense and just be a cool addition. Okay guys, so another change that I'd like to see implemented is when you're in the arena, I think you should be able to disable companions, just because sometimes when you're practicing, it's pretty frustrating having to deal with Freya kind of throwing vines around the enemies and then chucking them halfway across the map. I think it's pretty frustrating. She can also, use her Vanir magic in some other ways, as well as her Valkyrie form. It's just kind of frustrating when you're, midway through a very complicated combo and a vine pops out and ruins the flow of it for you. It's definitely frustrating. So I think deciding whether or not you actually want the companion in the arena with you would be a good change to have. Okay, something I just wanted to mention briefly about the companion thing as well. One of the main reasons I brought this up is because currently there's a bug where when you disable Freya's skills, they remain active. So, for instance, if you disable all of her Vanir magic, she still has access to all the vines, throwing enemies, throwing boulders, all that stuff. Same thing with archery and Valkyrie. So it's kind of just frustrating when you disable all these things and she's still able to disrupt combos and combat for you when you're in the arena. That's one of the main reasons I brought up removing companions as an option, or just, removing companion from the arena if you choose to do so. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to mention is the variation in larger enemies when it comes to the arena. I think there's a lot of kind of medium, larger enemies in Ragnarok, and very few, if any of them, appear in the arena. I think it would be really great to have the option to fight some of maybe like the Huntresses, or maybe some of the larger golems or the trolls, just some other larger enemies. And then, of course, I think later on, God of War is one of the perfect games to have a pantheon of bosses, no pun intended, just because you're able to. There's so much variation in the bosses in this game. It would be great to be able to practice them and kind of just perfect the fights. I think that's a great option to have down the line. Alright, so another change that I think they should make, and one that confused me a little bit when I first saw it, was I think they should have the cooldowns on the relics also be reduced. I'm not sure what they were going for when they made the runic cooldown short, but the relic cooldown long. Either way, I think that the relic cooldowns should definitely be reduced as well. There's some cool combos that you're able to do, some cool animation cancels that you can use the relics for. So I think just reducing that cooldown to be able to practice would be very cool. Okay, guys, and those are some of the main changes that I think should be implemented. If you guys agree or disagree, or if you have ideas of your own on what kind of changes should be made for the arena or the game in general, go ahead and leave a comment. And I appreciate you guys watching. Hope all of you have a great day.